Welcome to Thoughts on Thursday. It's Reverend Miller.
And Stuart Holmes.
We're glad that you can join us as we reflect on worship in a general sense, but also this coming worship for Sunday through YouTube, Facebook, and also in person here at Old Paramus. As I was contemplating and thinking about worship and about our time together on Thoughts on Thursday, I was thinking about the first fight my wife and I had as a married couple. And we were living in a townhouse at the seminary when I was becoming a minister. And the first fight we had that I recall was on how to fold a towel. I thought I knew how to fold a towel most of my life, but we came to that point and I was told I was wrong because we found out that my family folded a towel a certain way and then Danielle's family folded it another way. Something important to fight about, right, Stuart? And you won't be surprised who won that argument. And we folded towels like Danielle's family did. And in fact, it fit best in the closet we had for towels. We left seminary, moved to California, and lo and behold, when we moved into the apartment there, we started folding towels the way my family did because they fit best in that closet. And now, today, we put our towels in a basket. And so we're not even folding, we now roll the towels. And you might be thinking, what kind of hippies are they rolling towels? Well, that's what we do because it works best for the space. And so I often use that story when I'm doing premarital counseling, but it is the idea that circumstances will change our practices. And that's what happens sometimes in worship too, because if we change practices and change environments and change a format, it also has a ripple effect of other elements of worship. Now, if you've been married for 50 years and you stayed in the same house, maybe you always folded the towels a certain way. And you would never, ever consider changing how to fold a towel. Well, in worship, we're being pushed with COVID, and also as we draw on new technology, we're getting pushed to do things differently. And as I was looking at our annual report, which we do annually, of course, I can see through Facebook and YouTube just about how many people will watch our service during the week. And it looks about 60 people are watching our worship service on a regular basis. Now, only about 20 households are watching Thoughts on Thursday, so get the word out there, people.
Folding towels may be the reason.
Maybe it is. And what does that have to do with worship? Because of that, as I'm looking at 60 people, Stuart and I have to get our tech game to an A game, right? There's some Sundays we're unable to post because we made a mistake or something. That just shows you, it pushes us, like this is a viable part of our congregation participating virtually. And last Sunday was the first time we did it live through YouTube. It went well. We pray it will go well again. And so, that is changing our service. And sometimes we're thankful for it, and other times, we might not exactly like how we change that. You're wondering how that fits in the Sunday sermon? Well, we're looking at Luke, where Jesus teaches to his hometown, and they seem to reject his teaching. They weren't open. And so I think it'll all tie together. But as we move forward, it's a fascinating part. And my last thought was this, is that if we're used to church 20, 30, 40 years ago, we have to create new space and room. And so one of the things Stuart and I had to do is admit that we have limitations on our tech. And so last week we brought in someone who could show us how to do the virtual service live. And as soon as she showed us, we didn't have a problem. You know, and so you can't just make changes. You also have to include new people. You have to get new information, and we're working on that and encourage, you know, people to give us feedback and also just be patient as we try to expand.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get more thoughts than Stuart, but it never happened. So I tried my best to go a little longer than Stuart today.
Well, at the risk of this video going from 20 views a week to 20,000, do you remember an illustration you used about the most infamous Christmas gift?
Yes.
What was it?
You mean my skis?
No, it's what we shouldn't give.
Oh, what we shouldn't give. No, I can't remember that now.
I gave my wife.
Oh, a vacuum.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I did it. I did it. And I haven't lived that down. And the unfortunate thing is, you're not the first one to bring that up into a different context. Yeah. It's come over and over again. So I shudder to think that I have now admitted to God and country I gave my wife a vacuum. It was the first anniversary. I've never given her another one. This Sunday, now going from the sublime to the ridiculous, Myron Roberts is a composer that I'm featuring this morning because we picked out the hymn. Rob picked out the hymn, The Lone Wild Bird, which is coming back from the 70s. It was a kind of a folks tune, and the text I wrote about in the bulletin. I'm not going to repeat it now, but it's just a gorgeous melody. And I said, gee, that's so perfect. Let's look at things about birds. Myron Roberts came to a recital back in the 70s with a cockatoo on his shoulder and proceeded to play a piece. I think it might have been this saraband, but who cares, you know? And he explained later that he has pet birds, and that some of his music is reflecting of that. So when I started here today, that kind of is bringing forth somewhat musically that a bird in the distance keep continuing to repeat. That might be a stretch for some non-organists, but he continues on with the second part of this, with this. That is a bird. I don't know what it is. So I've chosen to be a little bit lighter this week, and I'm going to play Myron Roberts a little saraband and do a little bit of improvisation on The Lone Wild Bird as an introduction to that hymn.
Wonderful.
And the postlude is based on Psalm 19, one of the organist's standard favorites. It goes on. Fun Sunday musically.
Yes, and Psalm 19 is the heavens glorify God, the earth glorifies God, and so the theme is there. So hopefully you've enjoyed these thoughts. It's interesting, you know, one choice of the lone wild bird then leads Stuart in another direction, leads me in a direction, and
who knows?
And this is just revealing stuff you might not see on a Sunday. There's all these different connections as we try to really glorify God and join the heavens in glorifying God. So thanks for joining us.
Is there any way we can trace on YouTube whether your comment about towel folding or my comment about vacuum cleaners is the genesis for increased viewership?
I'll check into that. I'm sure it's my charm that brings the people in. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday.